Many of us have the best of intentions when it comes to New Year's resolutions, but the truth is, after a couple of weeks into our new commitments, our hopeful practices never become habit. As part of our A New Me in 2023 series, Ray Green, the founder and president of Sanford Behavioral Health, joins us right now with ways to make our resolutions permanent and also realistic. Thanks for joining us, Ray.
Thanks for having me.
So, where do we find the balance between realistic goals and something that we just sort of put out there and say, oh, I'm going to start doing this?
You know, at Sanford Behavioral Health, we're in the business of resolutions. People who come through our doors are looking to make life changes. And that fresh calendar every year, you know, you look inward and say, all right, what are the things that maybe have been around for a while, some issues that I want to start to tackle? And, you know, a resolution isn't a single event. A resolution is really a process of change. And it takes 21 days just to change a habit, 6 months to incorporate behavioral changes into our personality. And we know that over half, if not more, of the resolutions that people set don't work out. They don't work out. So you have to ask yourself a couple of things. One, what am I willing to give up? Two, what is my motivation? And when you talk about motivation, what you're really saying is ready, willing, and able. Am I ready to make this commitment? Am I willing to make the behavioral changes that it's going to take? And am I able to maintain those changes? And that's kind of where you start with a resolution. The next step is, how do you maintain and carry out, to answer your question, the goals of these resolutions? And there are some strategies that you can look at. One is that you make measurable goals. And when you make those goals, you analyze, can I achieve these measurable goals? And it helps to tell someone about those goals, because that adds to a little bit of accountability. Someone else knows about those goals. So, you know, that gives you a little extra push. And then you say, you know what, is there a community of like-minded resolvers that I can join, people who will offer me, you know, social support and reinforcement, and also serve as an inspiration, you know, that you can see someone who's achieving those goals. So they serve as a model, and you say, yes, that keeps you kind of going on that. And then this is really important as you look at what are the things that I can do along the way to reward myself, even for the small wins. And that's good because it's just generally good to feel a sense of, you know, being rewarded for it. But you also don't want your brain to start perceiving these behavioral changes as punishment, because it can push back against you. And so by, you know, providing yourself those rewards, you will avoid that tendency for, you know, slipping into, I'm a failure. We're all our own experiment. You know, there is no failure. So you just don't wait for a fresh new year to start again. Just reset yourself. Change does not happen in a straight line. It's a process, there's stages, and you can move in and out of those stages. So don't let that discourage you.
Right, it's that motivation, and to stay with it. You aren't always at the peak of when you started your desire to change. In other words, it may wane, and you may need to recommit again, but don't give up.
Don't give up. That doesn't mean you failed. Stay the course, keep going. And another thing that's important to keep in mind is that we, as humans, are not designed to necessarily do the things that are healthy for us, because we're designed with impulses for immediate gratification. So if we understand and accept that about ourselves, then we can begin to believe in that capacity for change and believe it with gusto.
And forgive ourselves a little bit if we do slip.
Oh, absolutely. A slip is just a part of the process.
Right, so keep going and find people that you can stay motivated with. I think that accountability factor is a big part of it.
It's a big factor, because if you just have these little ideas in your own mind, you know, but if you tell someone about that, then you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, maybe I need to think twice about, you know, whatever the resolution that you've made is. So yeah, it's a pretty important piece of it, accountability.
Okay, great advice, Ray. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.